good afternoon and welcome to today's vlog, Thursday 28th of August. I hope everybody is well. Seems like an entirety since I've done one of these. Just to update you then from obviously Monday bank holiday, Tuesday the van was in for a service which was absolutely fine, no issues came up. Disc pads and shoes were required, but I knew that, so that was all good. Wednesday, blood tests for me in the morning, grooming for the dog in the afternoon, so nice little break, enjoyed it. Well, update you on a couple of matters. Supreme Logistics Portsmouth, they've paid me, hurrah, get the champagne out. It was interesting though, on Sunday I posted on the Facebook group Courier's Bad Payers, and I had about 4 or 5 comments from other drivers who said they also had problems with that company, but they all said they got paid, so it gave me a little bit of hope. I decided on Tuesday morning, while I was sitting at home, I would give them a call, which I did about 10 o'clock, and spoke to a different guy there who told me he was the owner and director of the company, and he sounded very busy and very stressed, but basically the upshot was of it, he'd lots of staff, a few staff had left, and he was trying to run it all on his own by the sounds of it. He said, send me an email and I will get it sorted for you. So I sent him an email straight away with another copy of the invoice, and well, within 2 hours it had been paid. It was in my bank, so that was all good. I put a message back on the Facebook group that it had been paid, and also I let the CX know as well that it had been paid, because obviously they'd taken it up on my behalf. But anyway, we'll put that one to bed. We won't be working with Supreme Logistics again, but there we go, it's all done. I said I'd look at the VAT situation whilst I was off, which I did, and the more I was thinking about this before I looked into it again, I'm thinking I might actually be saving myself quite a lot of money. But anyway, I got all the figures out, went through it, and year one, if I'd done the reduced scheme, I would have been only £300 better off. £300, of course, is £300. And for year two, which I'm 3/4 of the way through, I've done 3 VAT returns for this year. At the moment, I would have been £200 better off. Now, obviously, those two figures would be more income on my gross taking, so there would be tax to pay on that. So, say £60 to come off year one and £40 to come off year two. But there is still money to be saved, so it is something I will look at again. And obviously, if you are starting out in the courier business, it might be worthwhile from day one of doing the reduced VAT scheme. And as Saintsman rightly said as well last week, you will be able to reclaim any VAT on capital purchases. So anyway, yeah, interesting. I also did one on a few weeks ago about my budget for next year, and I missed an item off. Now I actually missed this off excuse me, I missed this off my original budget before I started. Now I missed it off when I did the budget for year two. I keep meaning to put it in and I forget about it. Not a lot of money, but it's a breakdown cover, something you must have as a courier. As a car driver for years and years and years, I was with the AA, and I just got sick and fed up every year having to ring them up because they put the premium up 50% or more. So a couple of years ago I changed the car over to RAC. I do have some sort of breakdown cover I've got with the car, but it's never quite enough, so for the sake of whatever that was, I took an RAC out. So for the van, the car cover is never good enough. It's the same with the AA, and I think probably Green Flag as well. You have to have specialist cover. So I've got RAC business cover that will tow me anywhere in the UK, battery, and also tyres if I have any tyre problems. That cost me £333, 260 odd plus VAT. So in all honesty, it's about £1.50 a day. So it won't make any difference to my sort of daily business costs, but I did forget to put that in, so don't forget your breakdown cover. Totals for last week. I know people asked for totals. So gross takings last week was £990. My daily fixed costs are £70 a day, so 5 days last week, £350. My fuel was £182.81. No congestion charge last week, but I had 5 Dartford tolls, which are £2.20 before VAT. That left me a net figure of £447 for the week. Mileage wise, did 1,414 miles, used 33.93 gallons. That gave me a miles per gallon of 41.67, which is within my normal 38 to 42, so that is all good. That's the update done. On to today's work. Yesterday afternoon I started looking at the CX feed for the first time for quite a few days to see what it was about, and it was quiet. Not sure if that's a surprise or not. A few jobs around, but they were all sort of smallish jobs, and a lot of them were all 9 o'clock, 9:30. And as you know, I do like to try and get out a little bit earlier. So anyway, went to bed last night with no work in the bag, so I dropped the wife at the station as normal, 6:15. Made my way up to Greg's, because I think after this week I deserved a sausage breakfast roll and a coffee, so I was there for 6:30 and start looking for work. Wasn't an awful lot. There was one job that came out from Colchester going down to Rochford in Essex, which is just outside Southend. The only problem with that, it was a 60-day payment from invoice, and for a £50 job I'm not waiting until the end of October for my money, so I didn't even bid on that one. But I did finally get a job at 7:15, and it was a job from Halstead, which is about 30 minutes away, going to Upminster in Essex. Large van, 45 loaded miles, and I put a price of £70 on that, and I was pleased to get that. I thought that's a good price, that's a fair price for that job. So half an hour to get over to site, got there about 7:45. Was loaded and off site at 8 o'clock, no issues there, and arrived for delivery at 9:15, and I was all done off site for 9:30. So that's a good start for the day. We'll then have a look and see what else was around, and there wasn't a lot. There was a long wheelbase job from Tilbury going to Norwich, 120 miles, and I put 150 on that, didn't get that. And another long wheelbase from Rayleigh going to Colchester. Now that's only 28 miles, and I've done that job before, and I had a quick look back, and I did it for £60 before, so I put £60 on it, and I got that job. So that was good. That wasn't too far away. That was about 15 minutes or so down to Rayleigh. And as I say, it's a job I've done before, and it's like you remember these jobs, and I remembered it was a really good company, a really helpful set of guys, and they were again. It's window frames, which can be a little bit awkward to load and secure, but they really help you. And it was a nice easy job. I was there, it was 11 o'clock booking, I was there for 10:30, and they just needed to finish sorting some stuff out to go with the frames, which they did, and I was still off site for 11 o'clock, so absolutely no complaints. Straightforward journey, just up the A130, then onto the A12, and the delivery point is before Colchester, and it's literally just off the A12 into a warehouse they have. So I was on site for 11:40, and I was all done and finished by 11:45. To and fro, shall I go for lunch or shall I have a look for work? I decided to have a look for work, and I did that till 12:30, and then I thought, no, I'm not getting anything. Absolutely nothing was coming up really, to be honest, so I decided to go and park up round the corner and have some lunch. I did that till 1 o'clock. Now, I was having a think that I may have a little change of tactic. My wife is working from home tomorrow, and because it's been a short week, she's given permission for me to do well, the dog's probably given me more permission to go and do a long one, because someone else has got to take him for a walk. So I decided I'm going to put some bids on long jobs. Might even involve an overnight in a hotel. So let's see what happens. And not a lot, to be honest. There was a job from Haverhill going up to Newcastle. Small van, 220 miles, and I put 250 on that. Didn't get it. And there was one from Chelmsford going to Swansea. Small van again, that's 228 miles, so again I put a price on it of 250 and didn't get that. I'm not overly surprised, you know, at the moment, rates for small vans probably may well be around the 80p, 90p, probably top a pound. But because you've always got the problem that there might be people from Newcastle and Scotland, there might be people from, you know, west of England and Wales that'll do these jobs for probably half those prices if it's getting them back home. And I'm not going to do these jobs for, you know, silly amounts. I don't see the point. There was a couple of jobs going up to Prestwick Airport, one from Stansted and one from, I think it was Romford, and they're 400 miles. And again, you're going to be realistically, you want something like 450. You're not going to get it. And then of course I watched a video this morning from Saintsman, who's been up in Scotland himself and was just talking about the prices coming out of Scotland, saying you're almost lucky if you get 50p a mile. So I didn't see there's any point in sort of bidding on those and then having to get a hotel for the night, because I'm not going to sleep in the van, you know, and then getting virtual peanuts to come back. So we skipped that idea. But it was very quiet on the feed this afternoon, and eventually I took a job to load this afternoon in Witham, which was 10 minutes down the road from where I was sitting, and that's for delivery to Milton Keynes tomorrow morning. That job in total was 67 loaded miles from pickup to delivery. Obviously I'm going home, but that's my choice. I've got £100 for that, so I think that's a decent price for that job. It is a long wheelbase job. It's a long item that's 3.4 metres and a long thin pallet as well. I'm going to stick that, I'm going to do real devilish stuff today. I'm going to stick that on today's money. So I had a £70 this morning, £60 second job, and I'm going to include this £100. I can get over to Milton Keynes the first thing in the morning, so I'll start Friday from there. So 70, 60, 100, 230, over budget. I'm happy with that. Hope you've had a great day. I'm up to 12 minutes. I'm going to call it a day on that. Have a great evening. Stay safe on the roads, and we'll talk tomorrow. All the best. Cheers, Paul.